All right. Welcome, everybody. We are ready to roll. For some reason, Phemex, of course, is being a pain. I think I figured it out, though. I think it's because I am logged in on too many platforms at the same time. Too many computers, I mean.
Hey, Nico.
Yes. Hey, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hope you guys gonna have a great Turkey Day, Thanksgiving week. Some people love it. It's one of my favorite holidays. Probably because it's all about food and family. I like both of those. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to share my screen. I'm waiting for Phemex to come back alive. I don't know what's going on with that. Here we go. All right. Well, we are seeing a little pump in the market over the last 24 to 48 hours, which is good. But this overall, this is my trading view chart right here. This overall upward trend, for Bitcoin, we did have a big breakout of this upward trending support, and we dropped all the way down to 80K, about 80,500 right here. And we did bounce, but are we done? The bounce was kind of big considering it went from 80,500 all the way back up to 87.2 so far. Let me turn off the Gaussian channel. Well, let me just look at the Gaussian channel while we're at it. On the 5-day, guys, we're still below it. We have a whole candle. We wicked right through. I mean, we held on the center line for almost a week and then fell through it. And then the next candle opened underneath it. Next candle opened underneath that. So that is not good. This candle would need to come all the way back up, which I do think it's going to do, but I think only to probably the halfway mark first, because that's usually what happens when we ever fall below the Gaussian channel. And I don't mean just below the halfway line here like this. We usually, when we fall below the halfway line, the next stop is the bottom. And then we usually pump up and retest the center line. But when we actually fall below the entire Gaussian channel, which is kind of like what we did here, this one came all the way below, and the next candle, this one right here is opening inside of it. And we came up and retested the halfway mark before dropping. This one here, let's go back to here. This one here, we came below the Gaussian channel. The next candle opened and it just continued down. This one went way below. This is very similar. We went below it. The next candle opened and went far below it. The next candle opened below it, but it started to climb. And this time it claimed all the way out and then made new highs. And that was during this bull market cycle. No, that was last bull market. I'm sorry. This is the last bull market top. This was before that, where it climbed out and then dipped back in and then climbed back up. So usually when we open a candle below it, historically, guys, it's been pretty bearish for a little while after that. But there is hope here because we do have a pump, and we do have a month and month and 5 days left of this year, a month and 8 days to be exact. And historically speaking, November going into December is usually a big pump to the upside in the bull market. So there is a good chance that we could have one last big pump or rally, or there's a good chance that this could be the time when this is different. You know, we always say that every bull market, but this time is different. Usually it's not, no matter what's happening in the world. But this time seems like it should be different considering everything that is happening in the world and considering with all the changes taking place. Now, November 24th, there's supposed to be a big switch in the financial networks, financial system. I haven't seen any news about it going into this week, but November 22nd, which was Saturday. But ironically, some things did start moving in the upward direction since then. So let me bring this over. So, I mean, right here was November 22nd. We did have this pump back up. It's not fast and furious. It's not huge. It's not moving really quickly. But as you can see, we did break the downward trend on Bitcoin inside the overall. I'm sorry, this is XRP. Inside the overall downward trending channel that we're already in. We hit the top over here and we came down to the bottom with a nice lower high, lower high, lower high, wicked all the way down, came up, hit it, and then broke through it. So far, which is a good sign. So, but where are we going? I mean, the next resistance level is the downward trending resistance of the overall channel. And as you can see, sometimes we hit it and fall back down. Like here, here and here. I could move this to the top there. I could tighten all this up a little bit. Here, here. I would say here and here and here. You know, a couple times we wicked above it and came back below. So, you know, that's what I'm looking at going into this week. I mean, it's a holiday week. You know, this is when you get caught by surprise sometimes, when you're not expecting much to happen and things are moving slowly, and everybody's kind of in the slump because they think it's, you know, bear market and we've broken out of the upward trend and things are just looking strange. And then all of a sudden, boom, you get a huge pump to the upside out of the blue when you're not paying attention. So, I mean, I did give a signal to go long on XRP on the 22nd at $2.03. You should be, if you took that trade, you should be up quite a bit. I am up 22% on that one at only 5x leverage. So I'm not even using a lot of leverage, guys. I'm playing these longs with very low risk because we're still in the downward trend. So although this could pump up to the top of the downward trend, it could also just go halfway, like this one, boom, and come back down. Halfway, come back down. Halfway. There's a lot of times when that happens where it bounces off this line and goes halfway up and comes back down even lower. So I'm very cautious until we break out of this. And once we break out of the downward trending resistance line, then I will add more contracts. As soon as this does this and holds as support, I will increase my risk and leverage a little bit. And my new entry would probably pop up to here, but that would be more confirmed that we are on a breakout. Now, you got to keep in mind that a couple of times we did break out and then it came down and retested, but when it bounced, it did not make a higher high. And then it fell back below, retested underneath, and that's when we had the big drop. So it's got to retest and it's got to climb higher than where it broke out. Go ahead. Someone was saying something? Thought I heard someone say something. Yeah, if you have any questions, guys, just jump right out.
So are we looking for much activity?
I mean, I'm always looking for activity, but I'm not really expecting a lot of huge movement, but you will know when there is because There could be a decoupling from Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is the tide that rises all boats, so to speak. When Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. When Bitcoin goes down, everything goes down. But you could see if Bitcoin loses its dominance and altcoins take off, it will be XRP, Ethereum, Solana, and some of these other ones that really take off faster than Bitcoin. That doesn't mean Bitcoin's going to drop while these things are going up. It just means Bitcoin is not going to go up at the same rate. Now, Bitcoin could still go up, even if it loses dominance. So a lot of people get confused by that. But if Bitcoin, let me put it this way, Bitcoin could go up to 200K. That would be, it could go up to 180K. That would be double where it's at right now, right? But XRP could go up to, $20 during that same time. That would be a 10x for XRP and only a 2x for Bitcoin. Ethereum could go up, to 30 grand. That would be a 10x for Ethereum, but only a 2x for Bitcoin. So as far as ROI is concerned, I would say that once there's a decoupling, once there is all considered what a lot of people call altcoin season or any kind of Bitcoin dominance, that Bitcoin losing its dominance, that's usually what happens. Is some of these other coins, these altcoins, end up getting their day in the sunshine when they finally move, and sometimes you can get a better ROI on those coins. That's why you see a lot of sell off in Bitcoin from the top, from the big institutions. A lot of people, why is BlackRock selling? Why is Grayscale selling? Why are all these big hedge funds selling Bitcoin? Well, you got to remember these are ETFs, and they answer to their shareholders. They have to take profit. If they don't take profit, when there is profit to take, they are derelict in their duty to their investors, right? So if you were an investor and you invested in me, for instance, let's say I was a real estate developer or something, and you gave me some money to build something, and I built it, and I had the chance to sell it for 10 times multiple, but I waited until the next real estate crash and sold at a loss, you'd be mad at me. I wouldn't be a very good custodian of your money. So what these institutions do, and a lot of people think, oh, they're getting out of Bitcoin, oh, they don't like Bitcoin anymore. No, it's musical chairs with them. They move the money around. They started the ETFs when Bitcoin was at 75K, 74K, and Bitcoin went up to 126. So that is that's a pretty penny. That's a big gain they made. If they don't start selling that Bitcoin at the top to pay back, to take the profit, then it could come back down to 74K, and they would lose all that potential profit. So what do? They go liquid, they sell, they make a profit, and then they move the money into other things, like, guess what? The brand new XRP ETFs, that just started. So they just move stuff around. They still have money in Bitcoin ETFs. They just taking their profit off the tables, and that's how that works. So I don't get too alarmed by that. It doesn't really affect you as a retail trader and you owning Bitcoin, but it caused the value of Bitcoin to go down, but it doesn't. Like, I hear a lot of people on social media saying, I'm losing my ass. Well, you're only losing your ass if you sell at a loss. Like, if you have a Bitcoin and Bitcoin went from 126K down to 85K, you didn't lose anything. You still have a whole Bitcoin. Now, the value of it is lower, but if you sold it at 85, then yeah, you lost your ass. You made a mistake. You bought high and sold low. You shouldn't do that. But I see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm losing my ass. Well, having what's called unrealized loss and unrealized gain is different from realized gain and realized loss. Realized is when you actually sell. But if you bought a Bitcoin at $1, 10, 50, 12 years ago, or, $100, it went up past $100 and then all the way back down to $3, all the way up to $20, all the way back down to 30 cents, all the way back up. It did that multiple times before it finally got traction and took off. So you would have been on a roller coaster. But if you would have held that Bitcoin at $1, you'd have made a 100,000x gain since then. So, you got to just A lot of people just need to chill out and not be so overexcited about every little move in the market. So, I mean, when we like this is a pullback, there's no doubt, but it's a normal pullback. I mean, it's 20-30% pullback, which has happened multiple times just in this bull market alone. Now, could it be the beginning of a bear market? Yeah, could be. But let's go back over here to the lower. Let me just show you. And I know I show you guys this a lot and almost on every call, but when we get up to this level and when we get up to what could be winding into the end of a bull market cycle, and then we don't know whether it's really going to be the end or not, or whether we're going to have a super cycle. And a super cycle is just when we think that the bull market's over and all of a sudden it shoots up much higher, parabolic to the upside. And that could happen. And that actually could happen because this time could be different because of all the things and all the catalysts that are actually taking place. But I mean, if you just look at this chart and I didn't tell you anything else and asked you which direction is Bitcoin going, you would say up, up and away. Right? I mean, down here it was less than a penny. But look at all of the ups and downs, 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 ups and downs along the way. But overall, up, right? But these pullbacks are huge. Look at this one, 94%. This one, 76%. This one, 88%, 82%, 77%. Let me spread this out a little bit. This little one here, 21%. This one here, 33%. And this one right now, currently, we pulled down 39%. So that is like in line with all these other ones. It's not even a big deal. But the problem with this one is where we're at in the market cycle. And that is towards the end of what has typically been called a bull market cycle, which is 3 years up. 3 years up, 1 year down. 3 years up, 1 year down. And so we are at the end of the third year going into December. And generally speaking, that's usually when there's some down. And we also broke the upward trending support. So a lot of people say, oh, bull market's over. Oh, we also went through the Gaussian channel. Oh, bull market's over. But there may not be a bull market, bear market cycle anymore because of the laws of diminishing returns, the pumps to the upside. I mean, back here when we had 1000x, I mean, literally, look at this from down here, from this bull market. I mean, when we really look at this, guys, I mean, we had back in the beginning, back in 2010, we had like 1000x pumps to the upside, 1000x, crazy. And then the next supposed bull market was 100x. And then the next one was 50x. The next one was 20x. The next one, and this one was 8. So you see what I'm saying? It's getting less and less each time. Less and less huge moves to the upside each time, which could come to a point where no more ups and downs, no more bulls and bears, and just a breakout of this upward trending apex, which we're winding into. And has it ever broken to the downside? No, not really. Not if you go all the way back to, well, I shouldn't say that. If you take this line and go all the way back to 2011, back here, there is a long-running upward trending support and resistance line where it was resistance here, support, support, support. We broke through resistance, 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 support, 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 all the way through here. Let me turn off the Gaussian channel so you can see it. Support. And we just hit it. This is not the one I was showing you that we broke through. This is the long running, not this one, but this long running one. I'm going to turn that a different color so you can see it better. This long running one going all the way back to 2011. And we did just come down to the bottom of it. And every time we have hit this before, it is usually pumps to the upside. And so now we did kind of wick through it and we're trying to get back above it right now. Look at this one. When we wick down to it, I mean, we climbed out fast to a new all-time high. Down here, This was the only time where we literally went through it. And this is very similar to where it could be at right now, where we went through it, we come up. This is kind of where we're at right now, touching it, trying to get back above it. This one came back again and then double bottomed down here. That would be equivalent to us coming down to 80,500, coming back above it, and then coming back down and double bottom at 80,500 before really having another big run up to the upside, which in this example, that was a monster move to the upside. But even if we don't have that monster move to the upside, it could look like this, where it does what I just said, double bottoms, comes back up, gets back up in here, and we do have a move to the upside, and it could bring us right up into this top of this resistance line, which would still be at around 200K, anywhere from 150 to 200K. Or it could happen faster where it just comes back above this, breaks out of this, and shoots up, and boom, 189. And then we come down into the bear market after that, if there is such a thing as bull market and bear market cycles anymore. So I'm not quick to say that there isn't. I mean, but it could come to an end eventually as Bitcoin stabilizes and starts to have its steady rise as institutional, more institutions start pouring into it. Now, that's the positive aspect. That's the positive viewpoint. The negative viewpoint is Bitcoin's time is over. They've discovered that it's not a good utility. It's just a store of wealth, and XRP is going to be the one that really has a purpose. And this comes down and XRP shoots up, and Bitcoin's going to stabilize around 20, 30K. Which viewpoint do you subscribe to? Do you think Bitcoin's going to ever stop climbing?
Which one do you subscribe to? I mean, I know I'm asking a crystal ball question, but in all your experience, what do you think's going to happen?
I mean, if allowed to continue to do what it does, I think that more and more wallets are coming online. More and more people are learning about crypto. More and more people around the world are setting up exchange accounts on either centralized exchange or decentralized exchanges. More and more people are learning about crypto. More and more people are buying Bitcoin, buying these cryptos. And so with that being said, Bitcoin being a limited supply, only 21 million will ever exist. To this date, I think close to 20 or 19.5 million have been mined. And 98 or 9 by the year 2030, I believe, 2030 or 2031, something like that, 99% of all Bitcoin will have been mined. And that remaining 1% will take another 100 years to mine. So that would be slow, steady climb. And it's a finite supply of something that is in demand, right? So the price has to continue up. If left unchecked and allowed for that to happen, that's what would happen. They would just continue to go up in value. But who would be buying Bitcoin at $5 million per Bitcoin? Would the average person be buying Bitcoin? Well, they might be buying, you could still buy $10 worth because you could buy Satoshi. You could still buy, a Satoshi is like a 100th or 1,000th of a Bitcoin or whatever it is. You could still buy fractions of it. And, but as an investment, if Bitcoin is at $5 million and someone says, yeah, it's going to be 10 million over the next 10 years, are you going to buy $10 worth as an investment? $100 worth, because in 10 years, you're going to double your $100, or are you going to find other things to do with your money? I try to look at this from all possible viewpoints, but here's the biggest concern. Michael Saylor, for instance, who is a big Bitcoin advocate, who runs MicroStrategies, who is constantly buying. You got people out there trying to knock him off of his pedestal to prove him wrong. The JP Morgans of the world don't like what he's doing. The Warren Buffetts of the world don't like it. But other companies are doing the same thing. They're putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets. They're using it as debt. They're borrowing against it. They're buying more Bitcoin with it. They're using Bitcoin as a Bitcoin reserve for their companies. And as long as Bitcoin continues to go up and as long as new wallets come on and more people keep buying, that will be a very strong business model. And that has worked out very well up to this point for Michael Saylor. However, if Bitcoin crashes down to 20K or 30K, Michael Saylor's effed. He's screwed. There is a tipping point for him. There is a point of no return. And so he's doing everything he can to convince everyone he can to buy as much Bitcoin as possible. I mean, every conference he does, every podcast, everything he's on, it's about buying more Bitcoin. And you should continue to buy it, and you should never stop buying it. And he is known to say some pretty crazy things, like I'll show you one. I'll give you an example.
Why is JP Morgan, I guess, against Bitcoin, or aren't they shorting it? I read somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it threatens their business model. I mean, they're holding on to the dollar as long as possible. I guess they might be either afraid of the digital age or they're not. They didn't strategically set up for it. But
Not as scared as they are about XRP.
Well, they're investing in it, and they have ETFs, and they're benefiting from it. But if it goes, it's not that they're trying to get rid of crypto. And it's not that they're even trying to get rid of Michael Saylor. But I don't know if you guys understand the stock market. Michael Saylor, his company, MicroStrategy, is a publicly traded company, and he could get delisted if his stock drops below a certain amount. So if Bitcoin were to have a tumble, he could get delisted from the stock market. That would screw him. Now, do they want to do that? Not necessarily. I'm just saying it could happen. The big, the indices, all the different, you got the NASDAQ, you got the New York Stock, I mean, that's NASDAQ, you got the S&P 500, you got all these different exchanges. And I believe that there is some rule that you have to, I can't remember exactly what it is, but I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but companies run the risk of being delisted if they lose a certain amount of money or their value goes down a certain amount. Right now, though, MicroStrategies was trading right there with NVIDIA. I mean, more profitable than NVIDIA. It's only a risk if we have an economic collapse that causes Bitcoin to go down drastically. Now, then you have to also take into account. Now, I don't believe this is going to happen, but what you got to take into account is mining Bitcoin as a miner, as a Bitcoin miner, they get paid, they get rewarded for settling transactions on the blockchain, right? So every 4 years, the reward gets cut in half. It's not that Bitcoin gets cut in half or the value or anything, the quantity of Bitcoin gets cut in half. It's the rewards miners are getting paid to mine Bitcoin. So what happens when the reward gets so low, the price gets so high and the reward gets so low that miners don't want to mine anymore, or they protest, or maybe they just stop. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. I think of these things because what would be the reward? Now, they would get less per block, but the block would be worth more. So technically speaking, they would still get a lot. I can't remember how many transactions are in a block, but it's a lot. It could be like multiple Bitcoins or a whole Bitcoin that the miners are sharing per block. Anybody else has, more detailed knowledge on that can certainly chime in. But the point is
based
that
off the difficulty.
Say again?
It's based off the difficulty.
Yeah. And is it going to be more difficult when Bitcoin is more expensive? Is it going to be?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's how Satoshi designed it. He designed it so the difficulty adjustment is what keeps everything balanced and is what keeps it from being super expensive or super cheap as far as the reward goes.
Yeah. And so what's probably going to happen then when it gets super expensive is there's only going to be certain miners, and these are the big computers that are going to be doing it all, and the big outfits that are mining, and they're going to get all the reward, whatever reward is left.
But also once that happens, they will start earning fees for securing the network. They'll still earn fees because once these layer twos gets built on top of Bitcoin, that'll just start earning fees for processing transactions.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Cody. I knew my brain wasn't working this morning. I did remember about the processing fees. So yeah.
But isn't that why all these miners are transitioning to being like these AI data centers? I mean,
Possibly. Yeah.
They're just using excess capacity to also do AI as well because they can make money both ways now.
Yeah. So as a trader, as someone as trying to predict price is difficult in the short term, but that's why we use price action. That's why we use the charts. And that's why it's difficult for me to say that something might happen other than what the charts tell us. If I just go by the charts, guys, if I just read the charts based on supply and demand, support and resistance, and history, then we might be at the top of a bull market. Okay, so that's easy to see if all else was the same. If everything else was the same, then and there were no catalysts and there was nothing new happening, then I would just say we're coming to an end of a bull market. But the reason why this time can be different is because of all the other things that are being put in place behind the scenes with not only like the Genius Act and the government commitment to buy 1 million Bitcoins and use Bitcoin as a reserve, and Ripple getting the green light against all of their legal problems, and also getting contracts with hundreds of banking institutions and processing centers and buying multi-billion-dollar companies, all designed to be in that space and positioning themselves to pretty much take over the settlement of all transactions on the blockchain. It seems like we're heading in a direction that it's going to happen. It's going to happen quickly, and there's going to be a switch over to digital currency. I mean, that is the consensus. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Japanese yuan, the Japanese yen, or the Japanese yen reverse carry trade that's falling apart, because that is the big deal. That is the catalyst. And there's a, I can't remember how the saying is, all chickens are coming to roost or whatever. All debt is going to be called. It's all coming to an end. It's all unraveling. The government is under pressure to make this change. All US debt could be wiped out with crypto. It could possibly be done with Bitcoin, but could easily be done with XRP. It'd be harder with Bitcoin. So Trump could be working on something that could just be absolutely freaking crazy, that would change everything and wipe out the US debt and put us at the forefront of crypto and the blockchain, and Ripple at the top of the food chain as far as settlements of all currencies. So I mean, listen, all that is fantastical. All that sounds amazing. And if you got a lot of XRP, you're positioned to benefit from all that if it happens. If you got a lot of XRP and it doesn't happen that way, then I still don't think XRP is going to go down. I mean, it's gone nothing but up over the last, 3 or 4 years. It's probably 10x. Just well, I mean, it was 30 cents, and then it was $3.60, and now it's roughly around $2. So it's doing its little thing, but it's definitely having higher highs if you go back long enough. In fact, I mean, let me see if I can pull it up here. So we have potentially what appears to be another just big bull flag, you know, and that we are possibly getting ready to break out of. Depends on how you, let me get rid of this. That was a 583% pump to the upside from down here. You remember when we were down here at 59 cents in this group? We were long this, guys. We were long here. Why? Because the announcement for the SEC was about to be announced, whether they were going to win their case or not. And we had our stop loss right under here just in case. Because we knew that if they won, it would be, you know, great for XRP. And, you know, it shot up quite a bit. I think we took profit somewhere around 80 cents here. And that was like 1,100% gain. And then it just kept going. And so now we're up here. It's a stair-stepping thing. Could it come back down to this level? I highly doubt that that's going to happen. They've invested so much, billions of dollars. I think, in fact, we might see something up here in this range. And that would be in the $11, $12 to $15 range right here. I have this at $13.78. And yeah, another, let me just put that to this breakout right here. It'll be another 500% almost, maybe 400% pump to the upside. Very similar to this one. And that could be on the low end. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't believe it. They don't see it. They don't understand, because the market cap would have to be some astronomical into the trillions. Are you trying to say that XRP's market cap is going to be bigger than Bitcoin's? You're going to have a $2 trillion market cap? Easily. It depends. If XRP is settling, you know, quadrillion dollars worth of debt transactions every day, then it doesn't matter about market cap. The price has to be a certain amount to be able to handle that. And certainly could, you know, XRP could get to $100,000 per XRP, even $1 million per XRP in that case, if the rest of the world, if they really are running. And it's mathematical, guys. It's not like some hopium or some crazy number. It's certainly possible, just like Bitcoin could get there. And, you know,
Nico, my concern there is if all the major financial institutions are running on the private ledger rather than the public ledger, most of that is being processed on the private ledger. Does XRP that we have access to, you know, have any true effect beyond just speculation?
they would need to merge the ledgers, and they wouldn't have enough XRP to do it without the public, without the retail, without the ledger that you buy on. They legally they would have to merge that just to get all the rest of the XRP in play.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, they can't. And in fact, I think it was even ruled that they can't do that. Now, do they sell XRP on the private ledger to the hedge funds and stuff? Yes. Just to avoid huge price impact right now until all their ducks are in order. But there will come a time. I can't remember what the exact quantity is. I think Bill mentioned it the other day, like 50 billion or 30 billion XRP.
Yeah, there's 40 billion that they have private and 60 billion in circulation.
So when they run out of XRP on the private ledger, they have to use, and not only that, but I think that they're not even going to wait for that. They'll just merge the two. But there's settlements. And then now I think that most people's concern is that why would they allow so many people to get rich? And I don't think that people who say that really understand how few people there are involved in the grand scheme of things.
0.0001.
It's ridiculously low. Even if there's 1 million people that have XRP wallets with XRP in their wallets, very few. Like some people literally have 5 XRP or 2. Well, I heard it might go to 100 grand. So if I got 2 of them, I'll have 200 grand. Okay, well, if you're willing to sit on your 2 XRP for 20 years until 2040, then yeah, maybe that could happen. You might even be a millionaire from that. But the people with significant amounts, and I would say probably 10,000, 20,000 XRP or more is few. I would say there's not that many of those wallets. Don't get me wrong, there's people out there with millions of XRP, but there's people out there that already made tens of millions of dollars on XRP just from its rise from over here when it was down here at like 20 cents to here. And same with Bitcoin, guys. There's people who became billionaires from Bitcoin, and now the government's just coming around to wanting to put it as a reserve. So it's like you can front run the governments, you can front run the institutions by having this stuff before they institutionalize it and need it for something. Same with gold, same with all the other anything valuable out there. You can have a bunch of it before the masses come running for it. And that's the problem with investing. That's the problem with getting rich. Most people don't have the foresight to plan ahead, to buy something that may not move for a while. And some people say, what do you mean for a while? It's been 10 years. My XRP hasn't done. Well, it's gone up quite a bit in 10 years. And so that rate, okay, that might seem slow for you. Oh, they've been talking about a $500 XRP for 5 years. Yeah, that's true. They have. They have been talking about $500 XRP for 5 years. But I think now we're coming to that point where it's do or die. It's like it's right there on the doorstep. And the reason why is because all of the factors, all the catalysts that have to happen in order for that to happen are already in place. They're not like pie in the sky. Like if they did this, then it would go to this. No, they're doing that. That's all in place. So I know a lot of people, oh, Nico's a XRP maximist. Well, I am now, yeah. But I'm not, I'm not saying it because I hope it does this. Of course I want it to, but at the same time, there's a lot going on that I don't even think the public is aware of. That it's going to change. It's going to change quick, and a lot of people are going to have a lot of regret. A lot of people are going to be like, man, I heard that, but I never expected. I thought I had time. I never expected it to happen that quick. I thought it would go to $4, then maybe to $5, and then maybe in a couple of years to $6, and then maybe in another year to $7. And that sounds like the normal trajectory. But I think it's going to go from 50 cents, 49 cents to $3 in less than a year, which it did. That was a 5x. And I think it'll do it again, 5x in less than a year, or maybe even months. And then again, in a very short period of time. So I think that's going to happen quickly. A $30 to $50 XRP, I think, is in the short term. And who knows, it could be a lot more than that if things start clicking the way that the banks are lining up to do, going between now and the end of the first quarter of 2026. And I'm not even talking, that's not even a long time. Over the next few months. So me personally, I'm just, all the IS 20022 tokens I have a lot of, but XRP I think is the tide that's going to rise all boats when it comes to those tokens. So if it does what I think it can do, and if it does that and it gets up to these numbers up here, then I don't care what anything else is doing. I won't care what Bitcoin's doing. I won't care what real estate's doing. I won't care what anything's doing. Because that'll outpace everything else. That'll make every gain and every other investment look small in comparison.
It's all based on perceived value, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like 12, 13 years ago, a buddy of mine, he worked for BlackRock, a subsidiary, Bayview Capital, but he had a lot of outside contacts. And one of the things he was looking for were these farmer bonds, Chinese farmer bonds, if you've ever heard of them. And these things were, if you looked them up, they weren't worth anything. But people were paying 500 million, $1 billion, and when they secured them, they would secure their bigger projects for them. So if you could, I'm like, well, I put a couple feelers out. I had a couple of people that might have had them because there's a lot of scams out there. But I mean, if you closed a deal like that, if the people were legitimate, it was a quarter point in, quarter point out. I mean, 2.5 million bucks. and they would put that in a secured whatever location and secured their like larger project where it was a larger casino or something in Malaysia or whatever it was, but it was all based on the perceived value of it. So
Yeah.
like
What was it again?
they were called Chinese farmer bonds. They're, I don't know, like maybe
Oh,
100
bonds. Yes, yes, yes,
Chinese farmer bonds,
for sure.
but it's like I said, it's based on the perceived value of it all. I mean, I posted a thing that's probably something you've actually been talking about. It was this article where it kind of explains all this different stuff you're talking about with Swift and with XRP doing what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. And with XRP, it's not even perceived value. It's actually going to be
Yeah, right,
a utility that's actually creating tremendous value.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. But perceived now, yeah, it's like people are.
Bitcoin, yeah. Well, what Bitcoin, like for instance, it was probably like about 13 years ago, 12 years ago. I forget his name. He has a publication that's pretty been around for a while. And he put out this article, if you want, I'll send you. I think I still have it. It's called Edison's Revenge. And he talked about where 100 years ago, Edison and Ford talked about like our country, like to have different centers across the country, whether it's for food and all these different resources, where if say there's a hurricane in Florida, the resource center in Florida could take from other parts of the country. And it was basically how Bitcoin is designed. So you don't have one central location for all your needs. You have different decentralized locations where the overall good. And he talked about how this is how Bitcoin, and he was an early front runner back in 2010 saying Bitcoin
Right.
is going to go and stuff. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's amazing.
Hey, Nico.
It's timing. It's a lot of just timing with being at the right place at the right time. You see a lot of people get lucky. A lot of people make a lot of money getting lucky, right? And we call them lucky. What did I do? Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, just checking. I heard some word about Coinbase being under investigation for overcharging. You know, any legitimacy to that?
They might be. Yeah, that's happened before. It's
Okay.
not going to really affect them that much. It's like they might get a fine if they were, or have to reimburse people. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they consider overcharging. I mean, they kind of, unless they're telling you a price and charging you more than they're telling you, that would be a problem. But if you've agreed to the pricing and they charge you that price, then they're not overcharging. But unless there's a usury fee, like if you're at one gas station and they're charging $2 a gallon and the one up the road is charging $10 a gallon for no reason. But yeah, I have seen it before. I haven't seen the most recent one, but yeah, it's totally possible. I still use Coinbase, guys. I'm not, you see all these scare tactics. Oh, get everything off an exchange, all that stuff. I don't really subscribe. Is it better to have cold storage? Is it better to have total custody? Yes, of course. But do I think they're going to steal my crypto and, not give it to me or not settle? So far I've seen Coinbase delist cryptos that people did have, but they usually warn you before they do it. They say, listen, this crypto is going to be delisted on December 15th. And they let you know so that you can either move it, transfer it, sell it, convert it, whatever. That's what I've seen so far. But people aren't paying attention and that happens to them. Then they get pissed off and they say that Coinbase stole their money or stole their crypto. But there's a lot of people that just have no, I talk to a lot of people. Hey man, where can I buy XRP? I'm like, really? You don't know how to buy it yet? Do you have a Coinbase account? Yeah, I think I got a Coinbase account. I opened a long time ago. I haven't logged in like 3 years. Okay, well, maybe try that first. Log in, try to, to believe it, guys. And I'm not making fun of anybody. Most people are just clueless. Most people are just really have no clue how to do anything in this space. This is why there's so much potential upside to, all these coins going ballistic, because the masses are not even close to being involved. It's such a small fraction of the population that even have a clue of what we're doing and understand what we're doing here and how we do this. So, and more people are coming around to it. Just like you guys remember when maybe it was COVID, maybe it was COVID, I can't remember, but it was some catalyst that caused people to have to work from home. Maybe it was COVID. And everybody's looking for money-making opportunities online. Everybody wants to make money from home online. And there was a huge boom in, online courses, online training, online how to make money online, all this stuff. It just went crazy. Everybody was teaching something about how to make money online. And the stats I learned back then when that was happening is that only like, I don't know, 10 or 15%, 20% maybe of the entire population of the planet even had internet, was even online. It was like ridiculous. And we're not even talking about a long time ago. The amount of people that have cell phones, guys, the amount of people that have crypto or banking accounts, or don't have it, I should say, is huge. Like 1 billion people. And so imagine 1 billion more people coming online and into the space. Those numbers are like when people even hear 1 billion, they don't think too much of it, but 1 billion is a lot. It's so much, and compared to 1 million, most people don't even.
The difference between 1 million and 1 billion, if you do 1 million seconds,
I know, it's like 3 weeks.
Right. And if you do 1 billion seconds, it's 33 years.
Yeah. Yep. It's crazy. So we hear these numbers being thrown around all the time. Billionaires, 20 billion for this, for 10 billion for this. And we don't really think much of it, but I talk about it on the webinars, guys, because I tell people, like, a lot of people think at no matter what age, I've been this way too myself. Since my late teens, I always thought I was going to be rich. But when I was in my teenage years, rich to me was like $1 million. $1 million was, holy cow, you're a millionaire, right? And back then, when you drove in a neighborhood and you saw what $1 million house, it was a mega mansion. It was huge. It was unbelievable. And everybody was living in these little houses. But when you saw $1 million house, holy cow, it was monstrous. Now, I drive by $1 million houses every day in almost every neighborhood. And it's like, they don't look like anything anymore. They don't look like anything impressive, especially in this area in Florida. Maybe in certain states up north and certain districts in the country, certain areas in the country, you can still get a lot for your money. But down here, the average typical Florida style concrete house built in the 50s is $1 million, especially if it's near the water. It's like ridiculous. So it's not rich anymore. But if you have any plans of getting rich, or you want to get rich, I would say 5 million, 10 million or more, then you need to really understand leverage and how to collapse time and that's why we coined the phrase crypto wormholes, because you really have to understand how to collapse time and use OPM, other people's money. And in the real estate world, it's borrowing from banks and investors to buy investment properties, grow the wealth, pay back the investors. You get to keep the difference, or you get to use their money to help secure these. You're doing the work to find the properties, and you're using other people's money to buy them, and you're paying them back a return on their investment, but you ultimately benefit from the increased value of the real estate. With crypto, you can borrow, you can use leverage to play with a lot more money than you actually have, but you got to understand it. You got to use it wisely. You got to use it safely, but there's really not many other ways out there to capitalize or to grow wealth in a short period of time. But you have to learn how to do it in a short period of time in order to get rich in this lifetime, because you don't live long enough to do it the slow, old-fashioned way. You just don't. And I had a friend who was a good friend of mine who went and became a mailman right out of high school. Right out of high school, he went and worked for the post office. And he just retired like a few weeks ago after working for the post office for like 40 some years. Now, his route was like from 5 a.m. to like 11 a.m. So he was done before most people even started their day. He was done working, had the rest of his day, and he started a used car lot and a used car rental company. So he was entrepreneurial minded, and he had other businesses, and he bought a couple commercial office spaces and rented those out to law firms and stuff. So he made money in other things over time, but his retirement from the post office is going to pay him like $6,000 a month for the rest of his life. And, you to dedicate your whole life to something, and no offense to anybody who does it. I just look at that and I'm like, okay, so you retire and then what? I mean, you got enough money to live, but with inflation and the cost of living and everything, you're still kind of you're not really taking home a lot to do anything exciting. So if you guys don't grow what little money you have or what money you have from a job or a business, or learn how to invest it and turn it into a lot more money, unfortunately, it's like treading water. The cost of living, inflation, everything is 8 to 10% per year. You got to make 11% a year just to barely break even, just to keep your head above water on your money. Otherwise, if you're just spending your savings, obviously you can only do that so long before you have none left. And so, you hear these stories about, okay, well, what do we do if we have 10,000 XRP? Just for an example, an XRP does go to $1,000. Okay, so you got $10 million, right? Now, if you just take that out and start living on it, sell the XRP, pull out your 10 million, technically speaking, you're considered living above average. You're in the top 1%. You have enough money to live your life. You can travel, you can do all kinds of things. But if you don't invest that money, you will go through that. You might outlive it. If you're in your 50s, you might be broke by the time you're in your 80s if you just lived off the cash that you have, even if it's $10 million. So you might say, well, I would have to spend $500,000 a year for 20 years. Yeah. Is that difficult to do? Anybody want to raise their hand and answer that? Is that difficult to do? I know it seems like you wouldn't do it, but when you have it, it's easy to do. So what do? So you take that 10 million, you put it into some kind of dividend paying investment where maybe you're getting 5, 6, even on the low end, let's just say 6%. So you got $10 million times 6% per year. That's 600,000 a year. Okay. Now you can live pretty good on 600,000 a year. I can tell you that. That's 50 grand a month forever and ever. As long as you live, you will never spend that 600,000. You would never spend that $10 million. So that's the right way to do it. But most people say, well, yeah, but that money's just sitting there. Yeah, but it's spitting out 600 grand a year. And you could even invest some of that money to grow it in more money. But if you just want to live a nice, comfortable life, 50 grand a month, and that'll do it. But you got to think ahead to do that. So a lot of, like, if you want a certain amount of income every month to cover your cost of living, to be able to travel, to be able to have nice things, to have a boat, to do the things you want to do, figure out how much it is, 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 50,000 a month, whatever it is. And then you can figure out how much money you have to accumulate in order for, at 5%, even at the low end, 5% per year, to spit out that amount of money. You might need $2.5 million or more saved up. Unless you just want to risk it, and spend your 2.5 million or 10 million. Go ahead.
Nico, so do you think 10,000 XRPs is good enough to live that kind of a lifestyle? If I bought 10,000 XRP today?
According to a lot of experts, that could make you, depending on what your time frame is. Just do the math. If it hits $50, if 10,000 XRP hits $50, that's 500 grand. If you don't touch that and XRP goes to $100, $250, $800, $750, $1,000, then you got $10 million in XRP at $1,000 per XRP. And if it goes beyond that, which guys, if it hits $1,000, I assure you it's going to 5,000 after that sometime in the future. So it's just a matter of time. How much time? What's your time horizon? If you can, Vikram, if you can pay your bills, you have some type of income right now from another job or another business, and you can accumulate that much XRP or more and not worry about how you're going to, like, in other words, you could pay your bills with other income, then by all means, I would do that. Yeah. I think that's a good risk to reward ratio.
Okay, so to be honest, I had about 7,000 XRP 3 years ago when it was 60 cents. But then I started watching Michael Saylor every day, and he said Bitcoin is the only thing that can be trusted because XRP can be manipulated anytime. So I completely got brainwashed, and so I sold all my XRP and I got Bitcoin, and then so, but I did inherit some money. So what would your advice be to safely get that 10,000 XRP, and how safe would it be? Do I have to store it in a cold storage or put it somewhere just in Coinbase? Because I live in Canada, and 3 years ago when I purchased XRP, I couldn't do it through Coinbase. I could only do it through Uphold. There's a platform called,
Uphold.
yes,
Uphold is good. Uphold is good.
Yeah, but then
Sologenics is really good too. Sologenics
okay.
Sologenics is an app you download to your phone, and it's a hot wallet where you download your keys. Download your keys. Once you have your keys, if you lose your phone or anything, then you just get a new phone, download the app, put your keys in, and then everything's back.
Yeah, it's a hot wallet. That's like, like a MetaMask or a Trust Wallet or something like that. But Uphold was predicting $500 XRP 5 years ago. Uphold has been very, very strong on XRP. Uphold is, I mean, they've been talking about XRP for a long time.
It's a centralized exchange, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but 5 months ago, we all the people in Canada, we received a message saying that we all the XRP, everything you'd have to liquidate it and take your money out. Because I think after Trump got elected, they didn't want the money to go to Canada. So I got to sell everything and then take my money off of Uphold.
Yeah.
So I had that problem with Uphold. So
yeah.
So,
That's the problem. I think that's a Canadian problem more than a platform problem, right?
Yeah. So in Canada, if I'm in Canada, like, which platform do you recommend? Like, what should I do?
I can't. Yeah, I don't know Canada's laws enough, or what platforms are available enough. There might be some other Canadians on here right now who can answer that. But Uphold,
There's
yes,
a guide
centralized
in the Discord.
exchange. Say that again.
There's a guide I put together in the Discord with 4 of us, 4 from Canada and myself. I'll share the link. There's a few on there. Vikram, you've been here before. You probably have already looked at it, but anybody else that hasn't seen it.
Yeah, share the link for that. Thanks, Bill. But Uphold, I've been hearing a lot of good things about Uphold recently as a centralized exchange. I mean, they're really doing some good things for the people and for their members. But I'm not sure how it works for Canadians, because obviously I'm not in Canada, but I do understand the issues. The only other thing I can think of is, if you set up some type of US based entity, some trust or some kind of Wyoming corporation or LLC, and then open these accounts through that somehow in the US when you're down on vacation or something. I don't know. I really don't know a way around. I don't know. There are people that do that. There's a lot of people that come from Canada down here and buy real estate and invest in structures and real estate a lot. So I'm pretty sure you can do the same thing. You just got to be here to do it, probably. So it's hard because I have another friend who lives in California and Canada and Mexico. They're all over the place, but they're in the 3 worst. They're in the 3 countries or the 3 states. I put California in that country, that same category as Canada, because they're just so strict on stupid things. Same with New York. It's like
Yeah.
insane. So, I'm on Uphold right here, right now, as you can see it, guys, but I have an Uphold account. I don't use it, but I have heard good things about it. But I do know that they have some good opportunities for XRP holders, like staking and things like that. Like if you have your XRP there, you can stake it with them or get a dividend, paying 4% on just your USD balance, FDIC insured, crypto FDIC insured. So, I mean, staking rewards up to 12.9%, instantly stake and unstake. Okay, that's good. You could be staking, getting 12%, and then unstake it instantly. Like if you need the money, you don't have to go through a process to unstake it. So that's good. Yeah, check them out. I mean, I'm not promoting it. I don't have a link for it or anything like that, but
Were they
even Jake Klaver interviewed the founder, and they, and he had a good conversation with them, and he posted it on his YouTube channel, and he likes them. Go ahead.
were the FDIC approved?
FDIC insured.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they're probably coming for Coinbase's customers. They're trying to be the better version.
And Nico, do you suggest a cold storage or just have it on the platform?
I mean, I have both. I mean, I kind of spread things around just in case, but I use Decent cold storage wallet, and I had a Trezor. All of those are good. You can just Google top 10 cold storage wallets, and you'll find they're always coming out with new, latest and greatest technologies. But I've been using Decent for a while. I use Coinbase as well. I use some other ones I don't want to mention just for privacy reasons, but I try not to keep all my eggs in one basket. But I think if XRP shoots through the moon, let's say XRP did go to $1,000 overnight. We just woke up one day and XRP was $1,000. I would be concerned with my XRP on Coinbase. I would have a lot of it. I would have a lot of money sitting on Coinbase. But I've had a good experience with Coinbase for the last 10 years. I mean, I've been using Coinbase since 12 years now. And I've had a lot of people say they've had problems with them. I've just never had any problems. So they're a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. They're one of the largest centralized exchanges on planet Earth. Now, if you don't like centralized and you want all your business private and you don't want them to be sharing information with the IRS, then yeah, you don't want to be on there. I don't like that either, but I'm already in the system. I have multiple businesses. I already pay a lot of taxes. I have accountants and CPAs that help me with all that. And I can't be in the position I'm in teaching. I can't be trying to do anything shady or trying to hide anything. I don't even care to. It's not even, I used to be like that. Trust me. I wanted to expatriate at one point in my life, but I've used banks so much to my advantage. I've used not the government, but banks, to my advantage, that I'm not against them. Okay. I think that they serve their purpose. If you know what to do with the money when you borrow it, then you can make a lot more money with the borrowed money than you could have without it. So I find the need to, if you're going to be in the system and you're going to use the system, use the system. The people that I know are the richest, the people I know personally who are the richest, they have a lot of debt. They have a lot of property. They have a lot of, relationships with banks. They have businesses. They have lines of credit with businesses, business credit cards. I mean, they use it to their advantage. And so I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, from the banks, when you have a good relationship, they want to give you money. And especially if you make more money with the money, then they think you're a good steward of the money and they want to give you more money. It's like a never-ending perpetual loop. But I totally understand the people that want to be totally private, have all their everything offline and live out in the woods and have millions of dollars, but it's very difficult to be in the system and out of the system at the same time.
Nikki, I'll just say about Coinbase, a few years ago, were just horrendous, their customer service, but they've actually got a call number now, and they've gotten a lot better. But it was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Um, I had uploaded some money onto there over the weekend with Wells Fargo, and there was a glitch that was Wells Fargo's fault. And so what they did is Coinbase sold one of my Bitcoins for 10 grand to put it back on my Wells Fargo account. It was like a $200 Bitcoin too. So, but there was no way to get in touch with them. I'm like, why didn't you contact me? And I had other exchanges. So if there is an issue, they're going to take your Bitcoin and sell that first. So that's just an experience I had.
Yeah.
I mean, I had other Bitcoin on there and other
Yeah.
exchanges. So it's not so much going to take your money, it's the stupidity of a bank and it's a few years ago. So banks
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah, they created a taxable event for you by doing that. They
Exactly.
didn't take your money. They gave you your money and the current value of it, but they didn't want to
Exactly.
do that. Yeah, you didn't want
Right.
them.
Yeah, so it's that stupidity, like I said, and I had other exchanges as well. But it's like it's the thing that it's the stupidity of the institutions that is going to cause more of the problem than like maybe Coinbase himself. They have gotten much better,
Yeah.
I've found in the past couple of years with customer service. I think there's just because legislation in Congress kind of came down on them like a ton of bricks because like everybody was screaming at them, but it's like growing pains with everything else.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, when you hear the founder, the president of Coinbase speak at events, he's in alignment with, like, he wants what you want. He wants he wants people to make money and, and grow their wealth and all that stuff. And that's how they benefit as a platform. But, unless there's something nefarious going on behind the scenes that you don't know about, which, they're big corporations, they're publicly traded companies. So, there's always someone that has a bad experience or has a problem. The most problems I've heard of are people that either received or sent crypto out of Coinbase to a red flagged wallet address, and then their account got seized or closed, and they were like, I don't know what I did. They just closed my account for no reason, blah blah blah. And the reason is because you may not have even known it, but they suspect that you do know when you are sending money to wallets that are on a blacklist or there's a list, by the way, guys, there's a list out there that all of these platforms have of scammer wallets, addresses, and, people who are taking advantage of people and wallets that have been reported. And whenever you either receive or send money to these wallets, you get flagged. Your account gets flagged. Now you might say, well, how do you avoid that? Well, first of all, who are you sending crypto to? Are you sending it to a scammer on WhatsApp? You'll get flagged. Are you sending it as somebody who's already been reported to be a scam? Are you a scammer? You'll get flagged. They'll know if you're scamming people with any other wallet out there. So don't do it. That's all. If you have your own cold storage wallet, you can send to it from Coinbase. You can send back to Coinbase. No problems, no red flags. That wallet is not red flagged by anybody else because it's never done anything wrong. It's a Web3 based, cold storage wallet. You're not going to have any issues with that. And connecting those to exchanges, decentralized or centralized, doesn't matter. But I think when people have problems, they immediately blame the platforms. And we have people in this group that are blaming platforms. I got people in this group that blame Phemex because they lose money in a trade. I understand, my stop loss didn't get hit or whatever. I understand what you're saying, but what you say and what they prove otherwise when they go into the system and see, okay, you did have stop loss on this trade, but not this one. And I have stop loss on, you can argue it all day long, but they show me proof. They show proof. And I'm like, listen, I can't go to bat for you. And you want me to show you how you can, report Phemex to some government agency because you feel like you got your money, you lost money on a trade because the market dumped while you were in a long position and hit and liquidated your account. And you want me to help you report the platform that I use every day and have no problems with whatsoever, and hundreds of our other members use? I'm not going to help you do that. Sorry, you can take it up with them, but and I say this, I'm saying this because this happens. This happens even with members in our group sometimes. Don't get into positions if you don't know how to enter your positions. And if you're brand new, you should not be risking huge amounts of money and tell them, oh, I lost $10,000. Well, that's okay. And you don't trade much and you've never traded and you're just learning. Okay, well, you're not doing what we're teaching then. That's kind of your fault. And now, don't get me wrong, guys. There are instances where a price can drop so fast, like on October 10th, when we had that huge dump. Let me just go show you that huge dump right here, where people can get liquidated very quickly, right? Where was it? Oh, I'm on the CME. Hold on.
It's probably XRP when it wicked down to $1.80 because I got liquidated.
Yeah, it actually went down to $1.25, I think.
October 10th.
Second.
Yeah.
But the reason why a lot of people blame the platform, they're like, they stole money from me. No, what happened is that when this is happening, guys, when there's this happening, this giant drop, I mean, this is just a wick down, right? Even if you have a stop loss here, even if you have a stop loss and it just wicks through it so fast and it doesn't trigger your stop loss, it's because there's no one to sell it to. In order for your stop loss to be triggered, there has to be a buyer on the other end, right? And whenever what a stop loss is, it's a conditional sell order, is all it is. Same with a take profit target. And of course, 99.999% of the time, they get triggered without any problems. But if it ever doesn't, and because there's such a flash move in the market like this, and this could be something to sue somebody over, but it's not the platform's problem or fault, because if you have a stop loss that doesn't get triggered, they fill your stop loss as quickly as possible. But if this is happening in milliseconds, happening so fast, what happens is they have to find the buyer to fill your order. And
Nico, that seems kind of hard to believe that there was no buyers from $1.80 all the way down to $1.25. That's hard for me to believe, because then instantly it's right back up where it was.
Well, there were,
then moves up.
Yeah, there were billions of dollars came in from the bottom all the way back up, right? So like 3.4 billion came back into the market from that dump very quickly and brought the price all the way back up, right? So if I go to XRP and look, I'm just talking about, like, let me just show you what I'm talking about, because let me go back to I'm talking about on like this. This is XRP. You would have been trading up here. You would have been up here trading. Let's say we're long. I'm on the hourly time frame right now, but let's just say so. Yeah, money came back in way down here. Way down here and pumped this all the way back up. But up here, when it first dropped and literally just tanked right through all this, all the way down to here, everybody was getting liquidated. This is a domino effect of liquidation happening. And then there might have been some huge buy orders down here that just caught it to bounce. But yeah, I don't know, but it makes sense. The only time I've ever been gapped over was in the Forex market, and there was a gap. Now, I've never seen a gap trading so far. I've never been gapped over, meaning I wake up one morning and the price is above my above my stop loss, or below my stop loss or above my take profit target, and didn't trigger it. It's never happened to me yet.
Yeah,
But
I was actually trying to trade that during that time too, and you're like you said, it happened so fast that I was just hitting enter and closing like within a second, just to scalp like a quick move. And I was like up $1,000, and I would close within a second, and it was closing me out at a loss every single time.
yeah, you can't even do that. Yeah. And well, not only that, but I'm surprised it even filled your order at all while it was dropping. Because
It was feeling it, but it was just putting me at a loss every single time, even though when I was looking at it as I was closing it, it was positive.
while it was going down, you mean?
Yeah, well, either way, while I was trying to short or yeah, I was going down, I was, I would short it. I was in a profit, but by the time I closed out to try to take that profit, it
It already
was
came
taking me
back.
at a loss because it was bouncing up and down so fast.
Yeah. Whenever you see huge volatility like that, guys, and it's just literally hemorrhaging, it's like going like this, just so fast, and all of these numbers over here are lighting up, and over here, this thing down here is just like a Christmas tree lighting up. You need to kind of stay out of that until it simmers down. It's chaos. It's crazy, especially when you're talking about $100 order or a $500 order. That number is insignificant on the grand scale of things. You're just going to get clobbered. And unfortunately, now if you were up here and along and you had a stop loss here, you should have been stopped out. You should have been taken out. And some people claim they had stop losses, but the forensic investigators that go and look at it say, oh, there was no stop loss. He didn't have a stop loss. Not on this one, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know whose word to believe, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, but the person, and I'm not going to name any names, but because it's not just one person, there's several people that have this problem, and they eat, and the platform still reimburse them money, but not all of it, because it's not even, they don't even have to reimburse any money, but they felt bad, and because they were a member of our group and they wanted to help us and satisfy our team, they still reimbursed a lot of money to these people, which is pretty much them giving them free money, because the platform doesn't get your money when you lose it. Someone else does. It does exchange hands, but it's not going to the platform unless the platform caused the problem. If the platform is playing games and the platform, but that's not what happened here. This was a worldwide major dump, and I think Bybit, or was it Bybit or Binance? I can't remember which one.
Binance
had the major problem. I think Phemex actually handled it pretty well, actually. There was no delay in trading. It was pretty much back to normal here within a few seconds after that happened. I can't speak for them. I'm not there behind the scenes, but I do everything I can to, get these kinds of issues resolved. And I'm not saying that anybody's wrong for wanting to be compensated for their losses, but just think about it this way. Like, imagine you go to a casino and you sit at the blackjack table and they deal you the cards and you put $1,000 worth of chips on the table, and they give you your hand and your hand sucks and you lose, and they take your $1,000, and then you go and you want to complain to somebody, the manager, that you lost your money and you want it back. This is not fair. I don't know what I'm doing. They took advantage of me. I didn't know. I shouldn't have lost that much money. Blah, blah, blah. I thought I was only betting this amount. I thought that those chips were only $100 each. I didn't know they were $500 each. That kind of thing. And you have all the reasons why you want your money back. Is the casino going to give you? Did you fairly lose the money, or did you just? If you go into court, I know what the judge will tell you. If you say, "What honor? I didn't know that was illegal." Anybody want to tell me what the judge will say? Ignorance is no excuse for the law. Just because you didn't know what you were doing doesn't mean that you're not at fault. So, as much as I have sympathy, because trust me, I've been there before where I wanted to blame somebody. I lost 50K one day on what was it? What platform was that? It was Forex. I was up 50K, made 50K, and then the next day lost 50K. And I was gapped over, and I literally thought I was robbed. I literally thought they stole from me. But then I had to do a lot of research. I had to talk to a lot of people to understand exactly what happens and how that can happen. And then I realized, okay, well, it wasn't necessarily my fault that I got gapped over, but there's reasons why it happens. And there's reasons why you shouldn't stay in open positions overnight. And you hear that in the stock trading world all the time. You should close out your positions by the end of business on Friday. You don't stay in over the weekend. Otherwise, you can get gapped over. And it happens to a lot of people, and they get wrecked because they think that the market's just going to continue in the direction when the market opens on Monday, and it just doesn't sometimes. Anyway, I have total empathy for anybody who has that situation. I even went to bat. I even contacted our support there, tried to see if they can help. But there's only so much they can do. And recuperating, giving you some money as a bonus for your loss is, I think, above and beyond, even though it was only a percentage of what you lost, what someone lost. But so in my opinion, that's asking a lot. You know, Chad and I have even done this where someone got scammed by someone who pretended to be us. This was years ago. They pretended to be us because we got those imposters that open up accounts with our name, and they'll send messages out to people, you know, pretending to be us. And someone got scammed, and they thought they joined the Crypto Renegades Mastermind through this scammer. And then they reached out to us and said, "Hey, how come I don't get access to this and I don't get access to this?" And we're like, "Well, we don't see you in our group. What name? What's your email address? Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, you never joined the mastermind." They're like, "Yes, I did. I sent 300 and some odd dollars to this. Nico, you text messaged me." And I said, "Can you please send me screenshots of that?" And he did. He sent me screenshots of somebody using my name, messaging him in Facebook Messenger, and he sent money to this person. And we felt so bad that we gave the guy credit towards joining for the amount that he lost. That was all I could do, really, because I can't reimburse him for being ripped off by someone else. If I had to do that every time someone lost money, it's like, that's not fair to me. But at the same time, we warn everybody in our free Facebook group, do not fall for these scams. That's all I can do. I can't really do anything else about it. So I'm telling all you guys right now, if you ever get a message from anybody pretending to be me or Chad, please verify it in the Discord if it was me sending it to you. I get messages all the time in Discord. "Hey, was this you? Hey, was this you?" And 9 times out of 10, it's not me. Like this guy right here, Sanford, sends me this. Real Nico Mercuris. I do not have any accounts that say real Nico Mercuris. And ironically, even the fake account had our real link to register for the webinar, but they message people, and that's how they scam people. So yeah, it's a sad situation out there with that. But look at this. Look what's going on here, man. XRP's up to 220. We were at $1.80 just yesterday. That's a 40%, a 40-cent move to the upside. Is that correct? Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, if we hold, obviously we broke this upward trending resistance here. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's probably moved into level 3 already. So that was from Chad's yesterday's.
Yeah. And if you look, guys, this overall downward trending, I'll change this line so that you can see the exact channel I'm talking about here. This overall downward trending channel that we were in all the way since it was at its top up here at around $3.65. And we kind of slowly grinded all the way down to the floor. And this is the floor. Right here, this blued out area down here. And we bounced on that many times down here and climbed all the way back up. Bounce, 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 climb up, bounce, climb up. But we still got a ways to go here. We got to get out. We did break the most local downward trending resistance, but we got to break this overall downward trending resistance, and that would bring us right up here to about $2.30. We'd have to get maybe about $2.35 before we break out of that. But we'd also have to hold support there, because you can see a couple times here, we broke above it, came back below, broke above it, came back below. So I would need to see us break that. I'm long right now. This is very strong right here, coming off this support. Could we double bottom? Sure. Could we come back down and hit it again before breaking out? Yeah, everything's possible. But I think we're due. We're due.
Nico, if we double bottom, what would that number be? I'm driving and unfortunately can't see the chart real well.
back in the $1.80 range, $1.80 to $1.85 range.
Thanks.
For XRP. Yep. For Bitcoin, we're at 88.2. I mean, so we are up a bit there. And as you can see, we did break to the upside of this little downward trending channel that we were in. Let me just fine tune these lines a little bit. That's positive. That looks about right. You know, we had two contacts in the bottom. We have some touch points up here. We broke out, maybe retesting here. We got to get above 89, 90K, this orange line. And just like, because we had major support here, and obviously if you go back, you'll see some more back here at that level. We had support and resistance at the 89, 90 range, a lot of support back here and resistance. So, and then resistance here coming up. So we're coming back up to that. We get above that and hold the support. That is very positive. And see this red upward trending support line. If we get above that, right around where this downward trending resistance line is coming down from, I might be able to tighten that up a little bit, maybe. I would say that probably right about there. We get above this, boom, we climb and break this. If we can break through that, that's at the 98, 99, 100 zone. I told you guys we need to get above 100 again. Because getting above 100 means we're back in this upward trending channel. If we do that, then that's this support, support, resistance, resistance. And this goes back quite a ways right here to resistance, support, resistance, 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 support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance. That's about 99.5 to 100 zone. But we would need to come up. We need a few things need to happen to get up to that level. Obviously, we've got to break through the 90, the 89 zone right here, which it looks like it's probably going to do. Now it could hit this, and then, you know, that we could have a double bottom again. That could happen. We could get trapped down here because if you look, once we fell through that zone right there, guys, we never really retested. So we're either looking for a retest at the 89-90 zone or a breakthrough. But this is definitely positive. A positive pump from way down here when we were at 80K, 80,500 just yesterday. Big move to the upside.
How long do you think we have till we figure that out?
Tomorrow, 24 hours. 8 hours. Yeah, probably by tonight.
So do you think if I got in long at like $1.81 on XRP, I'm good? Or should I just take profits right now?
You got in on $1.81. That's probably the best entry you could get. So what I would do, I wouldn't take profits, but I would put my stop loss into profit.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it. Like right now, I'm in profit too. So I don't even have a stop loss. Here's my liquidation down here, but here's my entry. So let's go down. This is XRP margin. XRP margin. I'm going to put my take profit target right now at $2.07 just to get it on the board. That's a 10%, 9.5% gain. There it is right here. And I don't know if I want to move it too far into profit because this hasn't really retested that yet. But you know, because this is pumping nice right now. I mean, it's at $2.22, just went up another 2 cents. But if this comes down to retest this level first before bouncing, because normally we do get a retest. Let's go to lower time frame and see. It doesn't look like retested at all. We just broke
Yeah,
out
because
of
if you see in like the wins wall description, I'm at like 3,000 XRP right now up, and so I'm just trying to decide whether to let it ride or what.
recent post.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's awesome, buddy.
I just don't know if I should just let it ride because the ETFs are gonna launch it or take what I got right now.
And I mean, you could get rich off depending on how much you have on this trade. If this is the time, if you like went long at $1.81 and this thing does finally go to $5, $10, holy cow!
Yeah, I went long at $1.81 and then I added contracts, so I'm at like 800 XRP margin.
Nice.
But
at 28x,
you never know.
That's right.
I'd pull off what you got into it, and then let the rest ride.
Always take your money back out. Play with house money. Great advice.
That's always an option.
Okay.
Yeah. There will come a point. Yeah. So here's what I do is I will draw different support and resistance lines. Now we went right through this. There was no resistance, but we did have some resistance here on the way down. And then here we have resistance there. I'm gonna put that over here. And then up here, we have this long wick up. I'll just do that as well. Just put one there for the hell of it. So as we start to climb up and we start to break through these previous resistance levels, we just broke through this one without any problems. We broke through this downward trending one without any problems. But if this gets above this and holds as support, meaning maybe it doesn't even retest at all, it just keeps going straight up. But if it does bounce and hold as support and starts to come up to this one and gets through that one and holds as support, I would move my stop loss to at least here. But that's just me. You could just.
Thank you.
You definitely need one. You should at least put it to break even. At least put it to break even, because at cross leverage, if there was a big dump or a big sell off for whatever reason, you could lose.
Yeah, no, I'm at above. I'm at above break even right now.
All right, good. But this, guys, this is exciting. That's nice. This is happening. How much further? I don't know. This looks like it could have been a nice little cup and handle down here. Maybe. And maybe we're experiencing that pump right now. But if it keeps going, I mean, this is the hour time frame, and these candles just 1 hour after another, green, green, green. That's not going to keep going forever, but I mean, this is a breakout and it is a bounce off support for sure. So the next test would be once we get past these three little resistance levels, this orange downward trending resistance line is the big key. I think, Zach, if we get above that, that's at the $2.40 range, $2.30 to $2.40, and we hold above that, you might be in the clear for a while.
Thank you.
Good job.
I have one too that I entered at $2, and don't know if I should add some, but
Yeah, good job. I got in at 203 myself on this one. This one I'm in at 249. I've been in that long for a while, and I was negative almost probably $2,000. Now I'm only negative 960 because I stayed in it because I didn't expect it to go down below this. And that's risky. I don't recommend you do that, but I do it sometimes. But I also had a short. I don't know if you guys remember, but I also had a short hedge against it. And once that short bounced down here, I got out of my short. So I closed the short, took the profit, and now I'm waiting for my previous long to get less and less negative. and I'll eventually take profit on that.
Hey, Nico, are you gonna make your announcement, what you and Chad were talking about the other day?
Yeah, we'll be posting that in the free Facebook group. You guys are in the mastermind, so it really doesn't affect you. You already get full access to everything. But we will be making an announcement for like people in the free Facebook group to give them access to some training videos and stuff. But you guys already have full access to everything, so you don't really need to worry about it. Unless there was something else that you're referring to.
Oh, was that thing that you said you were going to announce in the next few days that was life changing for a lot of people? That's what I was referring to. Okay.
Yeah. There's guys, believe it or not, we do have maybe a couple thousand people in here in the mastermind. Let's go look over here, members. What do we got? 1,900 people in the mastermind. And I would say, look, right now we got 194. I think we had a little over 200 people on this call a minute ago, a couple minutes ago. So on any given day, and I'm just being totally transparent with you guys right now, on any given day in any kind of coaching or mentorship program, not everybody is participating. Some people are busy working. Some people never got started. Some people pay, join, and don't do anything. We just don't even ever hear from them. You might have even done it yourself before in programs. I have. Like I've joined programs and didn't even log in for weeks or months. So I understand that life gets in the way. I understand some people don't take action. I understand some people don't do anything after they join a program. But we have tens of thousands of people who wish they could be in this group like you guys. They just can't afford it. And I mean, Chad and I get messages every day begging for help. Just give me a bone, throw me a bone, give me one signal, give me something, right? People around the world, like some people live in countries they can't, like $3,000 to them is like $1 million. We got people tuning into our webinars from Africa and some countries that there's just no way they could ever join. So we try to help. We're trying to help as many as possible. That's why we had that. That's why we do post some free stuff every once in a while. We have that. We had that challenge, the 5-day challenge, where we, pretty much helped a lot of people for free. So that's what we're talking about. That we're going to be announcing to a lot of the people in the, on our list and in the free groups that have just don't have access to what you guys are able to have access to. That will give them a leg up. It's a training Chad and I put together. Chad, mostly, to be honest with you, Chad did a lot of the work and a lot of the videos for this. And so I give him a lot of credit for that. I mean, of course I did help out, but we're basically trying to get back to people who really need help. And a lot of people, listen, we want to help everybody, but we just can't afford it to some degree to work hands-on live like this, like we're doing every day for free, obviously. So, there's a lot of people in there that we're gonna give access to a much lesser expensive, just a training portal with a bunch of videos that we put together. So you guys already have full access to everything. You don't have to worry about it. You get us live multiple times a week. We're also going to be adding live calls to the schedule that you guys have access to. We're actually, talking to people, members of this group who are already proven themselves, time tested, vetted to be profitable traders, who are going to be actually getting a live time slot to just give back more, to be able to help more, to show you different members' trading strategies and things like that. And but I think that's might be what what we talked about. I don't know where did you hear me say that on the main webinar the other night? Because we say that on the webinar too. There's a lot of people on there, guys, that just.
No, I think it came as a post for.
In the free Facebook group. Yeah, in the free Facebook group.
Okay, that's what it was.
But you guys are in the mastermind, so you're getting all of that stuff plus 10 times more, plus the live calls. So don't worry. They're just going to get some stuff to help get them off the ground, some basic training stuff. So and it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of value. It's way more value than and it's not free. It's just not expensive for them. So it's just to help people get get the basics that they need to at least get started.
Hey, Nico,
Yes, sir.
is there any chance we're going to be starting an advanced call anytime soon? We have a basics call and an onboarding, maybe one that's a little more advanced.
That's a great question, and I agree that we should. Yes, I think that's definitely we'll have a high level call because there's a lot of people in here that are even beyond certain basic understandings, and they're already out there killing it, and they're taking trades. And then what happens after that? What happens after you make a lot of money? What do you do with it? Where should you put it? How do you transition from profit from one coin to another? Chad and I have talked about that before, and so we definitely are going to do something like that. And
I'm down to help.
Chad just said in the chat, pretty much all of his calls are only advanced topics. So are you getting on Chad's calls? Get on Chad's calls. I know I go over all the wide spectrum of stuff from basics to more advanced. And I think right now the outlook is just, we're so near what a lot of people would think would be a top in the market that we're waiting for this breakout, for this new push to the upside, or we're waiting for a breakdown of certain levels in order to know which way we're going to go. But when we were at the bear market bottom, guys, and going from 2022 going to 2023, we knew the bull market was starting and we had a long run up. But right now, we have to be careful because we're in a range right now. We're ranging. So once we break above the range, and I think I went over that on the last couple calls for Bitcoin anyway, it's let me just go back to my BTC chart. Yeah, so for Bitcoin, it's between basically the 89.90 range right here, and I would say 100K. I think if we can get above 89.90 here, we're probably going to go to 100K. If we get above 100K, then we're breaking out of the sideways range. Maybe the range is a little higher. It might be like even 105 to 123. I know that sounds like a long range, but if we go sideways here and we look, if I zoom out, I can't remember the exact range that I said on the last call, but I think if we look from this line here, which is the 9900K range, all the way up to here, which is the 123, this is technically, we've been in this range for a while. It is kind of sideways, but we broke below it. Hold on a second. I did not mean to do that. Let me close that. So we broke below this range right here. So if we're coming back into the range, that's positive. And it looks like we had this break to the upside of this downward trending channel, breaking through this bottom of this range. And as you can see, the range goes back. I mean, if I take this line and really bring it back, it's 100 to 103. It's this whole sideways action that we've been in. And we're kind of stuck in it. I mean, don't get me wrong. We can go high in the range and low in the range, and there's huge profit potential. That's a wide swing up and down. From here, from 100 up to here is 123, and back down again. That's a $20,000 difference. But nonetheless, we have to break out of it in order to have a new high, and we have to break below it in order to have lower lows. And we did break below. We came down to 80K, 80,500, and now we're coming all the way back up to 90K. I mean, 89, right? So we need to break above that 100 to get back into that range. We did it here. We broke down below, came all the way down to 75, 74.5, and then broke out of it. That was after this falling wedge. And this is just the most recent one. The only difference is this one came even below the upward trending support line. So it's hard to call sometimes, guys. It's hard to. That's why sometimes you got to sit on your hands and wait. Unless you enter the bottoms like Zach did on XRP, getting in at $1.81. I mean, when I gave that signal, he might have already been in. My signal was back in the channel XRP. Mine was 203. My long. Still in it. Up good right now, but he got in at $1.81, which is even better. But that's the more advanced. If you're jumping in without signals and because you know what you're doing, then you're probably already beyond intermediate, you're beyond beginner and basic, and you're one of those people that are posting these ridiculous gains in the wins wall on trades on signals on trades that we didn't give signals for. Like look, Ryan here, look at all these triple digit gains, quadruple digit gains on Ethereum and AVAX and SUI and Gala. I didn't give signals on those. He knows what he's doing. Zach, 3,000. I mean, I gave a signal on this, but he was in before I gave the signal, so he knows what he's doing. Michael and John, Omar killing it. So, and Dave, and yeah, I mean, it's just one right after another. Brian, I mean, that's ridiculous on ARC. Look at that. So a lot of people, they get to that point where they don't need the signal anymore. Now they know what to go find and how to look for it. And that's the goal, is to get you all there. So you're not just waiting on signals. But in the beginning, when you don't know what you're doing, you should wait on signals, mine or Chad's or other members in the member section. But be in a hurry to learn how to do this, not in a hurry to just make profit. I mean, I know we all want to make money. We all want to swing for the fences, but we all want to hit that home run. But you got to at least understand the basics of how to get in, get out, how to find the trade setup. And once you know that, then you've just learned how to fish. You don't need the fish handed to you anymore. All right, guys, we're coming up at the top of the hour. We got onboarding starting in 5 minutes. Bill has posted in the chat the link for onboarding. This is the onboarding link for in the Zoom chat. And then if you go into the main Discord, he also posted it in the announcements channel right here, right under my notification for this call. And he also posted in the trade signals channel down here. Right there. So you should not miss that if you're new. That's coming right up in 5 minutes. I'm going to wrap up this call, but everything's moving in the right direction. We had a nice bounce on Bitcoin and XRP. I am long on both. And I've been long though, so don't say where was the signal. I gave a signal way up here, way up higher. It's just now coming into profit. So I went negative for a little while there first, but XRP signal is the one I gave most recently. I was already in a long signal from XRP back at $2.49. So it's got a little ways to go to catch up to that one. And all I did was go long again in a coin margin. That was this entry here. Well, this is Bitcoin. So I will make a screenshot of my actual open positions right now, and I'll post that in the Signal channel so you can see where I'm at and what's going on here. But this could be it, guys. This could be the bounce back, what we want. But if we do happen to have a double bottom where we pop back down, that would be even a better entry. So if you missed it, if you missed that bottom, guys, there could be another one. And I will let you know. Any questions before we wrap it up on this call? Anything you want me to look at?
Just wondering, do you guys have any plans to do like a more than just trading knowledge, implementing like what to do with the money after you make it for trading or from trading?
We can do that for sure. I talk about that stuff all the time, but sometimes I get off course. But yeah, I can do a separate call for that. I'll just have to figure out what day and time. We're obviously in the holiday weekend. I got that's another thing I wanted to mention before we wrap this up, guys. Obviously, this is Thanksgiving week here, so there won't be any calls on Thursday. Normally, there's not anyway. We're not going to be doing a webinar on Thursday like we normally do. Wednesday, I think I will go live on Wednesday at 12 noon. That'll probably be a quick call. It won't be a 2 hour long, probably be an hour. I do have family arriving on Wednesday, and I want you guys to relax also and have, not worry about it. But obviously, money never sleeps. So if we see anything happening, I'll still be looking at the charts and giving updates throughout the day, regardless of whether it's Thanksgiving Day or not. So, but as far as calls go, I will go live on Wednesday as usual. And Chad, are you still on? I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that. Friday, I'll be back. Friday at 12 noon as well for my normal 12 noon call. And Bill, I believe you'll still have an onboarding call on Friday.
Yep. No worries.
Hey, Nico.
Yes.
I got distracted earlier on. What was the platform you were talking about using for staking that you said was really good?
That
Was that
was, who did I say? What were we talking about?
Uphold.
Oh, Uphold. Yeah. I mean, I heard it was good. I haven't used them. I have an account there, but I just never deposited. I never opened it. I never really did anything with it. Uphold.
Actually, there was one other one besides that was mentioned.
Sologenic. Sologenic, is that right?
Sologenic is a DEX. Zoom wallet. They rebranded. It's called Xammon wallet now. XAMMAN, I think. And you can. That's like the number one wallet for XRP. The number one decentralized wallet.
Yeah, I would like to vet those first. Like if you want to message me, Cody, if you want to DM me those, the ones you're talking about, just let me just look into them first before we share them with the group, because no offense. I mean, they could be great, but I don't want people to get information from this group and then say it was me that told them. Because I only like to talk about things that I actually am aware of and understand, and actually have some experience with, so that I'm not saying those aren't great. They could be great. Uphold is the only one that I've actually seen a lot of information on. They've been talking about XRP for 5 years, but it is a centralized exchange. So yeah.
Yeah. So Sologenics and Zoom, they're both decentralized apps. You just download them to your phone, and then they ask you to write down your seed phrase. It's all decentralized.
Right. Yeah. Those are hot wallets.
Yeah, but they're both probably the top rated apps for DeFi on XRP. But then inside both those apps, right? Just like any decentralized thing, just like you can go to Coinbase and there's multiple apps inside the Coinbase app, right?
That's right.
Same thing on both of these.
Yeah. And also, guys, just so you know, Coinbase is open lending back up again. So you can borrow against your Bitcoin. You can borrow against Ethereum. So up to, I believe, 30%, something like that, 30 or 40%. I'm not sure exactly, but they did it back in 2021. They're not loaning as much as they used to. I think before, back in 2021, you can go up to like 60%. But I think percentage wise, it's a lot lower now because they want to mitigate their risk. But if you have $1 million worth of Bitcoin, you can borrow 300 grand and keep your Bitcoin and not pay any tax on the loan proceeds. And they explain it all right there on their lending page. So another way to not worry about, losing your money from Coinbase is to borrow it in advance from them.
That's brilliant.
If they disappear, you got the money already. Well, at least a percentage of it. There are, Omar, Nexo is one that lends, but they do require, they're restricted for US and Canada. You would probably need a VPN to open up an account there. But Nexo, Nexo, they've been around for a long time. And there's more. I'm sure there's other ones. I think.
Can I suggest one?
Say that again. Silo, or is it Silo? Silo Bank. I'm not sure if it's called Silo or not. There's some major banks coming online, guys, now that are also going to be offering crypto with your checking account and your savings account. I think it's Silo. If I said that right.
There's one called Leden. It's a sideways spelling of lend. Kind of like hodl.
Yeah. Diane, did you say Uphold was a centralized exchange? I believe so, yes.
Figure Markets is a really good one too. They're a mortgage lender, but they've created an app, a decentralized app where you can keep all of your funds in a segregated wallet where it doesn't move and you can see it. It's pretty sweet. Figure Markets.
Cool.
I'll DM all this to you.
Cool. All right, guys, it's 2:00. If you're on this call and you should be on onboarding, click off here and go to that. Thank you guys for your patience and being on this for 2 hours with us. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you are able to spend time with family, decompress, relax a little. Crypto, during the holidays sometimes does some funky things. Sometimes it does nothing. Sometimes it just slows down to grinding halt. Everybody's not paying attention. But it looks like we got some movement today in the right direction, which is positive. And I'll be keeping an eye on it today. So if I see any changes, I will post it in the Discord. I'll post it in the Signal channel in Discord. Any updates that I see, and Chad will too, I'm sure. And be on the lookout. So I'll be live on Wednesday like normal, and I'll be paying attention to the charts, and I'll see if I see anything. I'll give you guys updates there.
We still doing the node talk on Wednesday?
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's our Wednesday call. Wednesday call is my node guy coming on. Yes. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday, guys. I got my node expert coming in to talk about nodes and the next project, and we'll be posting that in the ICO channel after the call. It's a big one. Should be a big one.
That's great. So we
And
can.
he'll also give an update on Element. Sorry, Kim, go ahead.
We'll be able to watch that if we can't attend on Wednesday.
That's correct. It'll be recorded and uploaded. And I'm going to upload this recording right now into the Facebook group. So that's it for now, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the Discord. If you have any questions or it's urgent, just DM me, or comment in the main chat. Ask the question in the main chat. All right. Have a great rest of your day. See you later.